Testing. Hello everyone, this is Human Shield. Gonna take you through a tour of SketchUp and what I've been doing on here, and then we're going to do a special project tonight. So yeah, I did get puppies on Friday. And so they sleep most of the time. One of them's in this tub here. The other one's sleeping in my living room in a little travel pen. When he wakes up, I'll bring him over here too. Yeah, the puppies are 6 weeks old, so they still sleep a lot. Anyway, here is SketchUp. Let me fix this. Alrighty, I think that is the best position. Most best, yes. Brilliant. So this is, I called it the infinity table. I don't really know why. Well, why is because there's an infinity here. But basically, my friend, his daughter, and she's about 8, and she needed a new table. She had an IKEA table, but it was kind of falling apart. One of the legs is loose, and so I think they maybe taped it to make sure to keep it together. And so I offered to make them a table, and so that's what I am working on now. So this is the table. So it's basically 3 pieces of wood on top, and then we've got a apron or skirt. I always mix up the two. And then 4 legs. And then she wanted some little cubby holes here. And she wanted them tall enough to put a glass of water in. So I made these a little taller than I originally planned. Originally I planned it to be about 6 inches. And now the space is 7 inches. So the total length is 8 inches. So this is 1/2 inch plywood. And then I do have 1/4 inch pieces to act as separators. And I'm debating whether I want to allow 1/4 inch shelves to be slid in and out. So that's definitely an option. And then, yeah, so in my last video introducing SketchUp, I talked about some of these different tools that exist. And so we can go over that. And then tags, right? So the main ones that I use are component information, then the actual list of components, and then the tags. And so here are all the tags. So I call this a hexfinity. Basically, this is a symbol that they use in their family to represent love. And so the daughter requested that we have a table with an infinity symbol on it. So the way I did that, let's see, there's one other panel here, which is display. There we go. So if I go through all these tags, I can see the different levels. So I've got an untagged, that's sort of your base. And so you put various things in there, or when you're making components or you're grouping things together into modules, then you can put all the base pieces in the untagged and then just put the completed pieces into these various different levels. So I've got one specifically for the cubbies. So you can choose which layer you're editing, and then you can also choose the visibility of each one. So if I turn off the visibility of the cubbies, then that'll get rid of the cubbies. Portia's making a lot of noise. I thought she was sleeping. and yeah, so you can hide the Xfinity, you can hide the legs, and then you're down to just the top. So the top is just going to be, okay, so this is a group, sorry, not module. There's components and there's groups. So you can group things just like you would in like PowerPoint. So if you double click in it, you can go into the group and then you have the individual components. So you can layer these, right? You can have components inside of components. You can have components inside of groups, or you can not have components, just have lines and geometric shapes grouped together. So I've double clicked. So the tabletop is grouped together, these three pieces, and it's three components. So if I double click in here, you can select each of the components individually. And if you double click in here, you can actually edit the component. And if you wanted to, one of the reasons that components are nice is if you change one, it changes all of them. So if I wanted to make this, instead of a 1x, I wanted to make it a 2x. So right now it's a 1x. It's 3/4 of an inch thick, as you can see in the bottom right corner. So if I want to make this a 2x, I could just increase this by 3/4 of an inch, and that automatically changes all of them. So I could easily switch to 2x if I wanted to. The pups are doing well. Portia's over here. Hey, Portia. Let me go check on Ferrari too. Hold on. Here he is. I'll expand this a little again. I bet he's gonna try to eat the cable. So this is Ferrari. He's the boy, and I'm fostering them for a local shelter. I picked them up Friday morning. I took some time off to do that, and then yeah, they've been acclimating pretty well. Super cute. This guy's got a giant belly. It's so warm, and it's so smooth. There's no hair down here. He's so smooth. He was kind of sleepy. I found him with his belly up in the air, like totally relaxed. He's very cute. He looks like he's a little out of it because he's tired. So on Friday, I had him here and I let him crawl up here, and then he climbed on the keyboard and typed. And then he climbed onto my desktop, and then he climbed on my other keyboard and tried to log into my work account. You little hacker, you. But that didn't work. And then he pooped on my desk. So yeah, it's a good thing I still have Lysol wipes from pre-pandemic. It was so cute. He kind of smells, because they roll around in their poo and pee sometimes. Like, he'll go pee on, I'm trying to crate train and pad train them. And Portia, I'll go, let's see, she's sleeping, so I won't bother her. So Portia's a little smaller, but she's figured out the pad thing a little better, at least for number 1. For number 2, sometimes they go to the pad, but their spatial awareness is not very big. And so the front of her will be on the pad, but the back of her, where the stuff comes out, will not. So sometimes I gotta watch them. Ooh, you're so warm. Hey. You're a cutie. You want him? Pearl wants him too, Look at those little eyes. Look at the camera. Can you look at the camera? Hey. Hey. No. Yeah. Your belly's just like my belly. Oh, you can't see it, fortunately. Oh, there he is. Oh, he wants to go poop on my desk again. Maybe not this time, huh? Oh, hey, Pearl. If you streamed early, or actually you can rewind if you want. Portia was climbing on me, and she's Sometimes she like pulls on my hair and stuff. Hey. Hey. Oh no, don't jump on the keyboard. Maybe after I'm sure you've pooped, then I'll oh, Porsche's up. I see I can get over there without pulling my whole rig off. Hey, Porsche. I know, you ready to go to sleep. Here's Porsche. Hey guys. So she's a little smaller. Look at the camera. Don't eat my headphone cable. No. Oh, you wanna? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is easier on the couch. Oh, you're so warm. Unfortunately, I was expecting it to get cooler tonight, so I had the windows open, but it's not gotten cooler yet. It was supposed to rain, and it didn't rain here. Oh. Yeah, you guys need another bath. Need another bath. That's okay. I put it in the title, clickbait. That's what you guys are, clickbait. Then you'll go find a nice forever home. Alrighty. Oh my god. Good thing there's only 2. I had thought about adopting all 4 from the litter, but that would be kind of crazy. Like imagine the poop there would be if there were 4 of them. There's already a lot. It's starting to get a little more regular, I think. Part of it was them, they've been moved around. They were in their old place, I don't know, downstate or in another state. So they were down there for a while, and then, they traveled up here to Chicago. Oh, good boy, Ferrari. You went on the pad. Good boy. Let me clean that up. Good boy. Okay, see, why must you sit on it after you pee on it? I hope that doesn't get me censored. So I've gone from doing laundry once a week to every day now. I guess this is what kids are like, right? All right. Hi. You should be here, Pearl. He's just staring at me. I've been thinking about investing in an external camera. That'd make it easier for me to follow them around. I've been taking kind of like vlog videos too, so I might compile those and post those online. All right, back to the show. All right, so actually I'm going to undo that last change because I don't want to use 2x. I mean, one day I might. Since she's only like 8, she doesn't need like a real heavy duty table, but in the future I may do that. And then the other thing I'm debating is with these cubbies, I don't know if I want to permanently attach them, or I might buy like dowels and drill holes so that you could attach them in a specific position, but then remove them. So I'm still thinking about that. But then, I don't know, I feel like that would be easy to knock over or something, so maybe I need to put like latches on the back to connect them, either to each other or to the table. Oh. So yeah, that's the table. Oh, the Hexfinity. So basically, they wanted an infinity sign, and so I'm debating the best way to put this in. And, being in wood it's kind of hard to curve circles easily in wood. And so I decided to make them 2 hexagons. So then I actually, built hexagons in lines and then connected all of them. And then that's how I got my infinity. I guess technically it was 4 hexagons, the outer hexagon, then the inner hexagon, connected them all. And I'm still debating exactly how to do it. What I'm guessing is I'll draw it on with, rulers and all that stuff, and then probably cut into it with a razor. Someone pooped. Hold on. Ah, the joys of parenthood. Don't step in it. Nope, not for you. Well, I guess I could put them on my desk now. I don't think you'd actually be able to see them though. Oh, I was doing all that talking without adjusting my camera. Sorry. Anyway, let's see. So I also was just going to do a quick model of my house. So I'm still an amateur, and this is one of my first attempts in SketchUp, aside from something super basic. And so I did a lot of experimentation. That's why in the title it's version 1.7, because I had a lot of iterations, a lot of different versions of this. And you can see here I have a lot of different layers. So my place is a townhouse. There's always one puppy asleep and one wants to play, and then they swap back and forth. All right, so yeah, so I built all these different layers, and so it's a townhouse, so technically there are other buildings here on either side, but I just followed the outside, the siding and the brick around. And then there's a deck here. The deck has a gate and other pieces, but I didn't model those because it was a lot of work. And then same thing with the garage, I didn't model that. But basically you can turn on and off all the various different layers. So this was the Warrington. That was the model. And then so I've got a layer for measurements. I'll hide that. And then so in the untagged layer, I have the titles and subheadings. But then we can go in and take a look more at the details. So I did the roof. So you can take off the roof. So here you can see the inside of my top floor. So this is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms up here. And then the stairs. There's a walk-in closet and then a laundry room. So you can do all sorts of textures. I just use generic textures in here. And so modeled all that. I did take some assumptions, like a lot of the indoor walls are 2x4 frame. So that was pretty easy. Some of these utility columns, I didn't know the exact specifications. Like I think the angle and the direction, the exact lengths of this angled doorway into the master bedroom is slightly off. but it's good enough. It at least lets me get a good idea of the layout, and so I can figure out where do I want to put the bed, where do I want to put dressers, and so on. So I also tried numbering these. They made a change last year. They didn't. I think this was called layers before, and now they call it tags. So I had numbered them because it wouldn't always sort the way I wanted it to sort. So I added numbers so that I could sort everything automatically. So okay, so now I can take off the upper level walls, exterior walls. I see, and then it unsorted again. That's something they probably should fix. All right, so then I can remove the upper layer, and then I can see the living room. And so here you can actually see, so here's my office on the right, and here is my actual living room on the left. Living room here, and then dining area, and then the kitchen on the bottom left. The puppies are playing and ending up in the water bowl. What are you doing? One was standing next to the water bowl, and then Ferrari was standing next to the water bowl, and then Porsche just came and like laid on top of him while he was sitting up. And I think someone farted, because it wasn't me. Okay, so yeah, I actually used this. So I put in the cabinets just so I could get an idea where the cabinets were going to be. And then there's a fireplace here, and then the kitchen or the fridge goes here. So the main thing I wanted to figure out was I was building my new dining room table. So I need to figure out how much space I had. So I mocked up couches. So I had a couch for my dad and a love seat for my dad. Originally, I only had a couch here. And so this wall here is ever so slightly too short to fit a love seat. So I was trying to like figure out the best way to put it there. I also have an old DVD shelf that was custom built from my old place. So I wanted to put that in too. But right now it's up here, but it doesn't quite fit there either. So I'm still debating what to do with it. And then also I have a coffee table. So I liked the reason I got the fireplace is just because it's a nice addition that a lot of people like, especially in Chicago, and because it causes the kitchen counter, it comes out like 2 feet. So that means your kitchen counter is 2 feet longer, and then you get a garbage drawer in here, so you don't have to have a freestanding garage garbage bin. But that also has the effect of making this 2 feet more narrow, so you lose a little bit of space here. But I think it was a acceptable loss. And there is an island here, but this, modeling all this in SketchUp allowed me to put in this table and figure out how long of a dining table I could have. So this says I could do a 10-foot table, and I actually did have a 10-foot slab available, but they cut off the ends because the ends are what dries out first on wood and tends to crack. So they cut off an inch on either side and then sanded it all, and then I sealed it. So it is, I think it's like 9'9" or 9'8". But actually, those couple inches also help because that makes it a little easier to fit a chair on the end. So I can actually fit 12 people, even though I only have 8 chairs. Well, 8 main chairs. I do have 4 folding chairs. And one of the things I figured out from my last party is that this center leg is in the way. Like, you can put 2 chairs in this space here, there's too much space, but you can't quite fit 3 chairs in here. So if I could move this slightly off center, then I could put 3 and 2. So I thought about moving one leg on one side off a foot, and then on the other side another foot the other direction, so they would be offset 2 feet. So that would be nice. I just haven't done it yet because the table's already there. And maybe I should file a bug for this because all right, so let's take, oh yeah, so I kind of have, it's not really split level, but I do have split level stairs, and our entryway is split level. The rest of the floors are pretty normal, and the basement is kind of a garden level. I guess from this side you could call it a garden because it's only a half window, but on the back side I guess you could kind of call it English, because on the back side it opens directly in at ground level. So the front is 4 inches taller than the back. So then because of that, I modeled all the stairs as separate layers as well. So if I remove the upper stairs and door, then that lets you see the lower stairs. And then I can remove the, I can also remove the furniture. And let me go back in there. Furniture, main floor furniture. And then of course I can remove the balcony, and I can remove the main level walls. Then I can continue going down, I can remove the main level. So there's my basement. So it's essentially HVAC utility room is here, and then I just installed a closet, so I have another model basically where I copied this model and then deleted everything except the basement, and then designed a closet to go in here. So I just had a lot of stuff piled in here and some old tables. Everything was kind of cluttered, so I built a closet so now I can organize everything with shelves and everything, and then there's the garage. So that's my house, fully modeled. It's probably not 100% accurate because I didn't have like all the architectural designs and all of that, but still pretty handy. And it was fun. This is what I did when I was without a home. After I sold my old place and got this place, it was still under construction, and so I had 4 months where I lived partially out of a corporate apartment in Columbus from work, and then when I was here in Chicago, all my stuff was in storage. So when I flew in from work every other week, I actually took an Uber to the storage unit, where I pulled my motorcycle out, and then I rode the motorcycle and then stayed in a hotel on the weekends, all the way through the end of or mid-November. So it's down to like 50 degrees and raining and sometimes, but it was still pretty cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back home, and I'm gonna create a new one. I'm not gonna save that. So it's kind of nifty that they honor their employees by putting models of them into the default templates, but it's also an extra step. Maybe I should do a model of myself. That would be kind of cool. Oh, on the previous one, I actually took a floor plan. So that's one of the tutorials that they go through. You can actually import a photo as a floor plan, and then with the tape measure tool, you can set scaling and marking and scale that photo to the appropriate place, and then you can just draw on the photo, and then using the push tool that I showed you last time, you can build walls out of there. And so that's how I started each of the floors for my place. All right, so today's project is a secret project. No. So Friday night, I released a video of me designing a piece of plywood with a hole in it to act as a dryer vent window cover for my friend. And so that was fairly simple. This is going to be also simple, but a little more complicated. So I'm envisioning, well, okay, so it's going to be communion cup holders, right? So we used to just have everyone walk up during service and take the bread and the juice / wine right away. But last year we switched to taking it together as a community. So everyone gets their cups and they bring it back, and then they eat the bread and then they drink the wine / juice at the same time. But when you do it that way, that means everyone's holding on to this little cup. And our church, even though it's an old church from like 1917 or something, so they never had that either. So there's nothing there. So there was talk about buying some, and so I decided to. I haven't committed to this. I'm just brainstorming at this point, but I figure I might as well try and see how difficult it would be to make those, and do it like a service. So we'll give that a try. I took a few measurements today while I was at church. Unfortunately, I forgot my tape measure. I forgot a lot of things this morning. I forgot the dryer vent panel, and I forgot my tape measure because I was trying to clean up poop as quickly as possible and get out the door. And I ended up 15 minutes late because I feel bad if I wake them up and make them eat and then just stick them back in the cage. I want to give them some playtime and stuff so that they're not lonely, that they can just nap since they sleep 20 hours a day anyway. So, all right. So first things first, the pews, this will mount to the back of the pew. And so the back of the pew is at an angle. And ideally something like a protractor. I think in my video I said protractor, that I would need to draw the circle for the dryer vent. I meant compass, right? Protractor used to find angles, compass is used to draw circles. And I think I might actually still have my high school compass in my office supply drawer somewhere. But I don't think I have a protractor. I don't remember the last time I've seen a protractor in person, probably high school. So, all right, anyway. Okay, so over the span of 1 foot, so I'm going to go from here up 12 inches. Over that span, the angle of the pew back, the length, or not the rise, whatever the horizontal equivalent is 1.5 inches. So let's just do this. So 1.5 inches. So that means I've got a line that represents the top and the offset from the bottom. So I shall draw this. And this is not the whole pew back because the pew has some curves in it. So I don't need to emulate the whole curve, but there's a curve down here, for the cushion on your back. And then there's a curve at the top for the decorative element. But the part that has, the Bible holder, and there's also a card envelope holder and pencil holder that we don't really use a lot. So I'm thinking I might suggest that we remove those, and then we can use the existing screw holes. So yeah, so I'll delete the guides if I can find them. Okay, and I probably should. Well, I should emulate the pew, so let's just make. I don't need a whole thing. I guess we can do 6 feet. We'll make that 6 feet. And we'll do another one here. 6 feet. All right, so now I got a plane at an angle. And I'll go ahead and push it. I'm going to guess 1.5 inches thick. That seems really thick for some reason. But it's only 1.5 inches. Yeah, okay. So that's the back of the pew. So what I'm going to do, I guess I can make it a component. I don't really need to. I'll make it just for reference. That way I can make changes to it. And I will move it to a pew layer. Oh? Is that that's kind of like, oh? Ooh? So now I have to move this tag to the pew. And so now I've moved this whole component to the pew, but if I actually go in here, all the surfaces are still on the untagged, and that's okay. I think this will still work. Yeah, so anything that's on the untagged is kind of ignored on the visibility. So even though the component or the pieces of the component are untagged, because the component as a whole is added to the pew tag, I can just do that. All right, so next thing up. All right, I'm going to start in a separate section here because I need the horizontal piece, which is going to hold the communion cups. And then then I'll need the brackets that will hold it against, support it and be screwed to the pew back. So, okay, so a couple things. Since we're in quarantine, we don't have the normal cups. We have these like sealed cups, which are slightly different size, but I imagine they designed them to be similar size. And I know some places have glass ones. We use plastic disposable ones, and then these I guess are even cheaper. But all right, so I got my set of calipers here that I can use to make measurements. These are old school. I wasn't a big fan of the digital ones because I'm still wary, even though battery technology has gotten better. I'm still wary that after a year or two the battery's gonna die and it's not gonna be. I'll need to go get a new one right when I need it most. So I just got a manual one. All right, so a height is actually just less than an inch, which is kind of funny. I guess with the oh, I crushed it a little bit. So it's basically with the wafer, it's probably an inch. But actually, what I need is the diameter. I need to not crush it. All right. So diameter is 7/8. I want it to be slightly wider. So yeah, so 7/8. I write that down. 7/8 of an inch. So I want a 7/8 inch diameter hole. Now I have to decide what kind of drill bit I want to use. I could just buy a 7/8 inch twist drill, but that's pretty thick, and it might not be the most efficient. I could do a spade. I think I have a 7/8 spade, but spade bits aren't very smooth, so there's a good chance that I would end up taking some chunks out and end up with an uneven circle. So they're kind of good because you can get a lot done, but they create pretty rough holes. And also my spade bits are kind of old, especially like the 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch, like the common sizes. They're not sharp anymore. So ideally, I should probably get a Forstner bit, and I can get like a nice, decent Forstner bit set, probably for $50. But if I want a good quality single size Forstner bit, you can easily spend $25 to $50 on a single bit for a good quality one. I guess I could go get like a Chinesium one, probably. I could just get a set. Actually, I might already have a set on my Amazon wish list. Let me take a look real quick. I had it and then I might have deleted it. Yeah, I added. It's funny. Sometimes I have so many tools. I had on my wish list. I had hex adapters, socket adapters, so that you can do large hex or Allen bolts using your ratchet wrench or your screwdriver impact drill. And I had it, and then I added it to my list, but then I didn't have it when I needed it. So I actually went to my neighbor and requested his, and he lent me his, which was brand new, never used, even though he has a really nice setup. He's got really nice Craftsman drawers, like a large set, and he's got a Project 350Z. He also drives a Focus ST and a few other fun cars. His friend has a S2000, so I saw them. I don't know what they were doing. All I know is they had the motor suspended on bars, so I suspect it was. They weren't doing a swap, but maybe they were changing the engine mounts, or maybe they were just changing the transmission or something. Anyway, I borrowed it from him and scratched up his pretty new socket. And then I came back to my garage, and then I realized I already had a set. And I could have used it the whole time, so I went through and cleared out my Amazon wish list to stuff I didn't really need. I removed everything I didn't really need. But I have since then bought a drill press, so actually this would be a good time to get a Forstner bit. Anyway, okay, so if this is 7/8, so I would say we probably want at least 1.5 inch deep. So if I did 1.5 inches, if I did 1.5 inches, it would fit in there. Oh, so the lid is 1 3/4, or sorry, 1 1/4. So 1.5 probably isn't enough. So I probably need an extra 1 3/4, or should I just go with 2 inches? Maybe I should do 2 inches. All right, let's do 2 inches. And then how many across do I want? 3. So if I put one on each end of the pew, that would be 6. But you could have, we don't usually have that many people. Maybe I should do 4. Or maybe I should put one in the center. That's more work. Let's just do 3 for now. I can adjust it later and add 4. So if I want 3 of them, so then this should be 6 inches by 2 inches. All right, so let's do 6 inches by 2 inches. And it's going to be 1/4 inch, sorry, 3/4 inch stock. Could probably get away with 5/8 inch. But we'll just say 3/4 of an inch. And then, so next I need to draw the center line. This is where the holes will go. So I was talking about inference in my last one. So let's start that over again. So if you hover over here, it just follows your cursor. But if you're near anything, it'll automatically display connection points, and then it'll snap to them if you get close to it. So here's the midpoint. Okay, so it doesn't snap to it, but it does highlight it. So if I get to the corner, it'll highlight that too. So I want to do the midpoint. Now this is the tape measure tool. So if you tape measure off the midpoint, it'll pull a line, a parallel line. So then here, okay, I want the center. So it's not going to calculate the center of the surface because everything's based on lines. So if I go over to the line, it's automatically going to assume that I want to pull a line that's perpendicular to the line that I'm starting on. And then if I infer it and hover over, it'll snap to the center of the perpendicular. So that's halfway. So the next thing I want to do is do a halfway mark from the center. Oh, I think because, there you go, because there's multiple points there, so you have to select the right one. This one, again, we'll do off the center. Since there's already a line here, it'll infer off the center of that line as well. That's the center point. And then Ferrari's like resting his head on the water bowl. And he just stuck his tongue out at me. Okay, so the next one should be, do I want it right in the center of the two? I mean, I guess that might make sense. So this one was at 3 inches. So should this be at 1.5 inches? Let's do it. Try it at 1.5 inches. But then that would only leave 1.5 inches. Okay, so I don't want one. I want 1 inch. Yes, because it's a 7/8 inch hole. I want 1 inch off the edge. 1 inch off the edge. So now I shall switch to the circle tool, and so I want diameter of 7/8. So so the radius would be 7/16. What's 7/16? I think I can do 7/16. I can. All right. So you don't necessarily have to know all your decimals. I know people in metric countries complain about that, but yeah, fraction can be a pain, but it's not rocket science. All right, so let's push these holes through. So, oh yeah, so I can infer it off this edge here. So another way would you could rotate it around, which is what I did in the last one, right? So if you pull it up, if you pull it down, you can push it all the way through, and then it'll infer off this surface. You don't actually have to do that. You can just infer it off this line. It knows that line is on that surface. It'll automatically infer it and punch that hole through. So I've got 3. So I'm going to, so right now these are all individual components. They're not connected. So if I just grab one thing and move it, I can like screw up things. Like that's like a weird wedge, which is kind of cool, but not at all what I'm trying to accomplish. So I should group them together. And actually, so the thing is, I don't want square edges here, because when people are getting up to go to the bathroom or coming in or anything, I don't want them hitting their thigh or their knee on the corner here. So I want to do rounded corners. So there's a couple ways to do that. So I could, see, so I don't need these, I don't need most of these guides anymore. So basically I want 2 inches. So the center would be 1 inch. Oops, I don't think that's right. Let's try that again. 1 inch. So in this case, I'm going to draw a circle. What is it doing? Interesting. Okay, I'll just make that 2 inches. What did I? Oh, how did I even do that? I created on the wrong plane. That's why. So I want it on the vertical plane. Yes, okay. So then I want a 2 inch. All right, so I've drawn a circle here. So now what I can, well, I'll have to see. Can I do this? Yes. So then I can just push. So I draw this circle, and because everything's lines, everything's automatically intersected together, and then you can push that through. So that'll disappear, and then you can delete these curves. Now, SketchUp, everything's technically not a curve. It's treated as a curve, but as you can see, it's actually a segmented curve. I believe it segments it into 15-degree increments. So if you do this soon enough, it becomes really easy. You can just push everything. I'm going to select everything, and here you can see the segment lines. But there is a marker indicating that it's part of a circle, so it'll behave as if it's a circle, even though it's not a true circle. All right, so I'm going to make this component a cup holder, I guess. That kind of sounds funny. Okay, so now let's say, okay, I've already made a component. So then I could just go in here, double click it, and edit it, and then do the same thing that I did, put a circle there. I'm going to show another way to do it. And this is a really powerful tool. It's the same concept, but if you apply it to more complex situations, you can do really complex intersections of objects. So let me just do this now. Okay, so managed to pick the right plane that time. So here's the thing, is this is a component. This is not a component. So if I move this, it just moves, and it has no effect on the component piece because that component piece is locked inside of the component. So there's a few different things you can do. So one thing is you could explode this component to break it up back into its individual pieces. But another thing you can do is select the component and select this, and here, intersect faces, and then You can intersect it with everything in the model, or you can intersect it with just what you've selected. So just choose what I've selected. So now, even though these are separate pieces, it will register that, or maybe not. Did I do that wrong? I did do that wrong. The water was looking red, so I was wondering if they barfed in it or something, but it's just a reflection from the red blanket in there. Okay, so I did this wrong. So I think I have to do it either way. Anyway, what intersection will allow you to do is connect two different things together. And so if I explode this, sorry, if you use intersect, if you had two components, you could intersect them. But then I think you still have to explode them. So let me just undo that and just do it the original way. What? I'm missing. What have I done? What am I missing here? Blue? No. All right, so I've gotten myself into like a weird position. All right. I think because the lines weren't inside the model, it was getting confused. All right, so I'll just do the same thing. All right, so that's the main holder. And so if, depending how fancy you want to get, you can also do like all the roundovers. So in my last video, there was a roundover on all of the edges that I just added, but I didn't actually model it. I just put it in myself. So you could model that if you wanted to. Now, one thing I haven't tested is how that works with this curve. Like when you have two curves intersecting, what happens? Let's try it. So in this case, I do want a 1/4 inch roundover. And so for a 1/4 inch roundover, I need 1/4 inch guides. Start here. Quarter inch. Is that right? 3/8 inch. Oh, because I want. There's probably a better way to do this, but 1/4 inch. No, no, no. No, that was right. Yeah, so I want a 1/4 inch, so 1/4 inch in, and then the circle edge there. So now, let's see what happens when I do this. Okay, so I can push it to that curve. Then the question is, what can I do with this curve? Is it? I can't push it around the circle. There's a way to do this. I remember seeing a tutorial. Follow. Okay. Oh, yes, there we go. So I think this will actually follow it all the way around. There we go. And done. So that did that round over the entire way. I'm not sure what happened here. There's some sort of artifact. Let's see if I can use the follow all the way. Oops. How did I do that? We're all learning together here. Is that better? It's a little better. There's still a weird artifact here. Why is that? That artifact is not over here. I might have to experiment a little with that. Like, what is this line? Really, really strange. What happens if I delete that? Oh, weird things. Okay. So there's some quirks with SketchUp, and there's probably some things that I'm just plain doing wrong. Oops. So if you delete a surface, you can actually see inside the object. And so if I were to leave and select this, if you look here, component says 1 in model, because there's only one. By deleting that surface, it's just a bunch of shapes. But if I leave that surface in place, I'm trying to get it to be a solid model, solid component. There's a way to do that. But that'll mean that it doesn't have any holes, that everything is properly modeled. So I might have a hole in here somewhere because of this weird. Can I? No, I can't delete that. Can I delete that? No. All right, maybe I'll play. Oh, soften on. Smooth on. Well, I'll figure this out later. But yeah, it's not a solid component anymore. What happens if I undo all of that? Oh yeah, so now it's a solid component. When did it stop being solid? And now redo's not working. Still solid, okay. All right, so what is the follow me tool anyway? I mean, what's the shortcut? F pushes P, F, offset. That's not what I want. And it's not O. What does offset do? I can't do that. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I should probably re-look at that tutorial. Yeah, so it's not a solid component anymore. I'll figure it out sometime. Anyway, let's finish cleaning this up. And there we go. That's probably why this is like blue and funny. I shouldn't be doing this now, so I apologize. Ah, there we go. So I can fix it some slowly. I'm sure there's like a cool way to do this. And sometimes there's weird artifacts. Usually there's some error, like human error, when you're drawing things sometimes, or the measurements are slightly off, or you've miscalculated your angles, and that can cause problems. Anyway, I'll fix that later. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. Now, of course, the other problem, which is why I have the pew, is there's an angle here. So again, if you use the tape measure tool, you can calculate the angle. I think I have to switch to protractor tool. All right, so this tells me it's 7 degrees. In which case, it's probably not even worth building an angle. I mean, I could build something at 7 degrees. Should I? Oh, and that means that what I should do, if I want this to be horizontal, I should cut this at 7 degrees. Can I do 7? Oops. Apparently I need to do -7. This is going to be a big experiment here. Okay, I forgot to do it in the component again. Get rid of all those. R for protractor? No, that's rectangle. Oh well. I keep hearing things. Are those artifacts? I don't know if you're hearing them. Okay, all right. So this is where, well, I guess I don't really need to. I know there's a way to do this. I'm just not sure what it is. Let's draw a line here. There. There. I'm inside. I'm inside the pew. So wherever you put your mouse, everything's relative to that. So if you actually accidentally end up inside of another object, it can be a little weird. Okay, here's where now I need to do intersect. Just select all. So here, the problem is here. So I've got one rectangle here, then I've got a rectangle and a curve here. And there's no line here. So if I select this surface and try to delete it, it'll delete the entire thing. But I only want to delete it up to this line. So what I need to do is intersect everything. So now there's a line there. So now if I delete this, and there's a better way to delete these lines too. So there's an interesting thing. If you select going right, only full items inside of your box are selected. But if you select going left, anything inside the box will be selected, even if it's just a point. Makes it a little easier to select things in certain cases. All right, so there's our new angled component. So basically what I would do is if I decide to actually build this, I would just get 1x3 in oak. So 1x3 would be 2.5 inches. So I would rip all of them down to 2 inches with this angle on the table saw. Then I would cut squares 6 inches wide. 6 inches, yeah, 6 inches wide. And then use the drill press with a Forstner bit, drill the 3 holes. Then I can use the router to round over this edge. So that's almost it. So that was 1 hour. Now I still need to do the brackets. So let's see. Let me move all these to another layer. So now, yeah. So now I can actually move this around and actually stick it on the view. So because it's in 3 dimensions and you're trying to control 3 dimensions using a 2-dimensional medium. Sometimes it's easier to just, if you're just free-forming it, like you're kind of like, oh, where does it go in? Like, I'm not really sure. So this is another place where inferring to the snap 2 points makes it a little easier, because now you know that at least it's on that corner there. So then it's really easy to, it's really easy to move it up this surface, and it'll auto infer off the surface. You could also use, well, this is an angle, so it's not that easy, but if I want it to go along the red axis to the right, so it's kind of like, oh, where's it going? Like it snaps to the green here. It snapped to the purple, so it snapped to the pew. It snapped to the green, which is the left axis. I actually went off the red axis, so you could find that, or you can just hit right for the red axis, up for the blue axis, and then it'll be constrained to that axis, or left to the green axis, it'll be constrained to that axis. I want it to be constrained to the red axis. So now that it's on the face, I can put it anywhere on the face and it'll be fine. So let's just say 12 inches since it's a 6-foot span. And there we go. So the last thing I need is I need to add a bracket here. So I'm thinking a triangular bracket, or I could do like a rounded bracket, and then that would just support the ends. It only needs like an inch probably down, and then I can run a screw through there. Oh yeah, and let's see, the existing screws, 3 3/4. Wait, is that 3 3/4 or 3 3/8? 3 3/4. So I want 2 brackets, and I'll space them 3 3/4 apart. That way I can use the existing holes. Now there's also a part of me that considered, well, if I'm going to remove the pencil card holder, maybe I need to build that too. I'll think about that. But we'll just continue finishing this. Okay, so for the bracket, I want to create a new component. So I could draw the line at 7 degrees if I wanted to, but it's probably going to be easier. So let's make a 2-inch square. That looks really big, huh? But it's not. Oh yeah, so then if you go into the components, so you can see all the components here. Oh, Helen. I don't need Helen, sorry. Cup holder. So I can just pull out another one anytime and then just move it around. And I can stick it right here for reference. So obviously 2 inches is more than enough. So let's delete that. Oops. Double click. Let's do 1.5 inches and see how that looks. 1.5 by 1.5. There we go. Then we can move this for content. Let's hide that pew. And then just look at it for reference before I do anything else. So I can just make it a triangle if I wanted to. I could do that. Or I could make it a circle. So I could do something like that. It's 1 1/16. Let's see how big that would be if I did it this way. 7/16. That's almost half inch. I probably only need I don't know, 1/4 inch, half inch. No, half inch is too much. 3/8. Let's just put a couple different guides and see. So if I did a 1/4 inch, actually let's get to that circle. And then let's also do 3/8 of an inch. Oops. Miskeyed that. 0.375. All right. So now if we put a circle here, yeah, that's going to be, should be like that, right? So then the profile would look like that. It's not bad. I could always round this over, make it a little more decorative. 1.5 inches. There's a couple ways I could do this. I could just get a 2x2 stick and run a router down the entire length. This is how they'd make trim. Run a router down the entire length. So this would actually, I might be able to buy trim like this in oak that would match. That's definitely an option. Just because like a big cut like this, you'd have to do multiple cuts. Otherwise, it puts a lot of load not only on the router but on the drill bit if you're feeding too much at the same time. It definitely looks better than the straight line. So let's get rid of the straight line. Don't need any of that. So now push this 3/4 of an inch. Is that too thick? Okay, so the screw holes are at 3 3/4. I guess I could do 3 3/4. That's how ABE would say it. I'm just trying to figure out. So 3 3/4, 1.5 plus 3/8. So 7/8. So I need to go 1.875 that way. And 1.875. Where did that go? Maybe I should do it. .875 inches. Oh, really? 1.875 inches. Is that right? Three 3/4. So that's not going to work because that would put the supports directly in the way of the holes. I just draw. So I've got a 3 3/4 line there. And can I move this without doing weird stuff? Yes, I can. Okay. So actually 4 holes might work better because then the supports will be in between. Whoops, wrong button. Let me just draw a line here. I just want to make sure that this is centered. So there's this. Where's the center? Just there it is. Center, center. So if I did that, on the center of this, oops. All right, let's go ahead and group these together just so it doesn't come apart. Actually, I should just make it a component. Bracket. So I can move this. I want it constrained to the red, and then I want it aligned. Well, I guess I can't. And then aligned to that. There we go. I saw it snap. All right, I'll just do it by eye for now. Huh, that seems an awfully big bracket. So what I can do is make it, instead of make it out of 3/4, I can make it out of 1/2 inch. So I'll push it back in 1/4 inch. So now it's a 1/2 inch. Oh, don't want to do that. That's for sure. Yeah, so sometimes you got to be careful about where your intersections are. Sometimes if you mess up the geometry, you got to be careful. So actually what I should do is just draw a separate line, a 3/8 inch, 3 3/4 inch. 3.75 inches. That doesn't look right. Strained red, 3.75 inches. That's correct? What? Oh. So again, that's like a perspective thing. Snap it there. Now, one there. And this one there. So actually, let's actually group these. That way they'll always move together. So if I wanted, I could also model the hole. And that actually might be helpful. So gotta double click to get into it. Hole will probably be, I don't know, I could put it an inch. Oh no, it's, if I put it in the center, that would be 3/4 of an inch. Hole, 1/8 inch. This should be interesting. What happens when you push it through an angle? It should be okay. Oh, so I have to do the intersect faces thing. Now, yeah, there we go. Nope. Oh, that's weird. My intersected faces, why isn't it? Okay, so it doesn't like that because of the surface, or because of the circle. Last attempt. No. Okay, that's fine. We know where the hole is going to be. And then you can see over here that that hole is automatically reflected there. How deep is that going to be? 1/2 inch. Is that enough? Maybe it needs to be higher. So let's make it there. I didn't choose rest of model. Oh, did I draw it in the wrong one? Well, that was dumb. Oh, this is another example of the inference. I realized I did it last time without showing you. So if you hover over the midpoint up here, then it will remember that. And then you can use that to infer important locations in other places. That's a little better. That looks good. That should be nice and strong. So that's going to be about 3/4 of an inch deep. So I can use 3/4. So I can use 1.5 inch screws. Well, I guess it depends how deep this is going to be. I could probably use 1-inch screws. Then this would be 1/2 inch. So it'll be recessed so you can't see the screw. That should work pretty well. Oh, I forgot to do the angle. No worries. Let's get the protractor tool again. This time I want to do it here. Seven inches, or 7 degrees. Draw that line. Infer it off there. Constrain it there, and then draw it there. Challenges. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this hole extended through. Okay. This is gonna be Oh, it refilled the hole. No, it didn't. Am I in the wrong? Oh, I didn't draw any of that inside of the component. That's what. Oh, I did it in the group, not in the component. Ah, being such a noob. Well, while I'm undoing stuff, I can undo that. Hmm. Hmm. My mind, it is a thinking. How long is this? I don't really need that, do I? Maybe instead of adding on, I can subtract. Yes, I think that's a good idea. Seven degrees. That looks correct to me. Not quite. I'm missing something somewhere. I'm wondering if that's it. No. Okay, let's finish. Let's delete those chunks. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move these to another layer. Brackets. This way. I can hide cup holder. There we go. So I toggle that on and off, toggle that on and off, toggle that on and off. Oh, so I did weird stuff here. I drew something off the wrong line. 7 inches, 7 degrees. Actually, this line needs to go from there to there. I'm going to redraw them in an attempt to complete the rectangle. There we go. Gotta make sure you're in the right level. Am I in the right level? No, I'm not. It's like Inception. Oh. Hey. It's dinner time, or pre-bed meal time for the doggos. Nope. All right. I wonder if I can intersect these. Yes. Now, since it's not a flat face, I'm not going to get the I'm not going to get the actual hole there, but it's good enough. Line those up. There we go. Oh, you're really hungry, huh? Oh my gosh, they're so cute. They're so cute. Let me start preparing their food. I just gotta warm it up a little bit. Can you hear them? All right, so I have to let the kibble soak a little bit because being so young, we don't necessarily want to make them eat really hard food. And I actually am not a big fan of feeding dogs uh, really hard food because it's really dry. So I'm in favor of like mixing a little water to soften it up a little bit. And then supplementing with real meat if possible. And so there's actually formula in here, dog baby formula. So there's a little formula mixed in here, and then we also add a little bit of wet meat food. So, almost ready. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely the I'm hungry squeal. All right, so there's 20 more minutes. It's coming. It's coming. I was just thinking, can I do the fourth hole? Do I have time to do the fourth hole? I guess that'll really put myself to the test whether we can stretch a highly stylized piece like this easily or not. But anyway, this is essentially, oops. This is essentially what the finished product will eventually look like. Let's move a copy of that. Too many guides here. Nope. All right, it'll look something like that. So I got to extend this piece to add another hole, and then the bracket will fit. Oh, they're like huddling together for support. All right, let's see what I can do. See, if I put a pad down, then I should be safe to put them on the desk again. Apparently there's different types of pads, and this is like I have 3 different types. One semi-nice pad and then 2 cheap pads. So the semi-nice one actually has like a different color water barrier so you can see it. Whereas the cheap ones, they're all white. Okay, let's see. Let's see if you can see this. Oh, that's weird. There's the yummy food. So this pad's not. I'm coming. Gotta double up the pad. So the two cheap ones, one of them has a plastic lining. This one apparently has no lining. I think it's supposed to be like impregnated, but all that really means is it's not actually waterproof. I might regret this, but I still have a few Lysol wipes left. Okay. The funny thing is, I think Portia eats more, even though she's smaller. Wait, Portia, you don't want the food? What? You're not hungry? Oh, then you just have to go to the bathroom? Well, then that's not a good place for you then. I guess I'll save that for them for later. All right. You just need to go to the bathroom? Was it a bathroom squeal? Wait. Here you go. Hey. Yep, it was a bathroom squeal. Number 2. Hey, no sniffing. So Portia's really good about Portia's pretty good about vocalizing what she needs, despite only being here for 2 days. All right. Well, that'll give me time to actually put some meat into your mix too. Or I'll just give it to them down there. Ah, see, now they're eating. They're pretty voracious eaters. But I upped their dosages, or their servings today. So maybe they'll be okay. I don't like feeding them too much before bed because that just means they're going to wake me up in the middle of the night. All right, 15 minutes. We'll put a 15-minute max on this. All right, let's hide the pew again. We don't need the brackets right now. I'm still annoyed by this odd piece here, but I might just have to live with it for now. All right, so here's the tricky part. Maybe it's not, actually, maybe it's not tricky. Just need to add 2 inches. So actually what I probably can do is cut out this center piece, move it, and duplicate it. So if of course everything is slightly more complicated because of this bevel. Oh, and the angle. And again, there's probably more efficient ways to do these things, but what? What do you want? What? Why are you sticking? You've never stuck your tongue out like that before. Get another pad just in case. Oh, well, now he's eating. All right. Let's hope this works. Intersect faces. So theoretically, we have a clean cut here. Oh, I did not expect that, but that seems to work quite well. Let's give you another pad. See what they do. Maybe they just want to play. Watch them knock my laptop off the desk or something. What are you finding? That's not for you. I wouldn't mind if you ate all my receipts, but that's not going to make them go away. You guys are out of frame. Come on. Yeah, I guess I need to get an external external camera. Alright, maybe you should just stay here. On my belly. Of course, I can't get any work done like this. You're cutting into my 15-minute. I'm actually pretty close, though. Alright, let's see what I can do one-handed. And with the laptop all cockney. Or cockeyed. Let's see. Tape measure. Can I find the center of the hole? No. Alright, guys. It's what happens when you're too mischievous. I can't let you free. Let you roam free on my desk. You're gonna like type bad things into chat. I need to find, where's the center point? There. That's not what I want. There, okay. Is that 1 inch? Where are you going? 1 inch. 1 inch. What did I do? Ah! Not that. One inch. Did it work? I don't think it worked. Let's try a different tool. 1 inch. Alright, they're gonna start eating my hair. I know, there you are. Hey. Oh no, I was supposed to do 7/16. 7/16. Okay. And there we go. Voila. All right. I wonder if they ate less because they're full or because I did put the meat in there. Iffy or poo? After dinner, prime poo time. Okay, so now find the center. That's not what I wanted. And I find, there we go. And then this needs to go to the center of there. Oh, there we go. And why is this off? How did that happen? All right, I think that's it. I do need to clean up the lines. Are those actually centered? I know I can make little minute adjustments, but finished in time, I think. Clean up the lines. Oh. Always forget that. Alright, you don't need to look at my gut anymore. So obviously there's a lot of different ways to do stuff. There's like more advanced techniques and everything if you want to look those up. They definitely have a lot of really good tutorials. I think they just posted last week, they did a model of the International Space Station. That is not child's play. Alright, this one's all off, so we'll get rid of that one. So actually we can group these together too so that they move as a unit. And there we go. Of course we can make more of them if we want. So you can make 2x to make 2, 5x to make 5. That's potentially a lot of wine. And of course you can go in and hide all guides if you want. Guides. There you go. What did I do? I'm missing brackets. Oh well. I'll worry about the minutia later. But there you go. So there's a 4 holes in a piece of wood tutorial. And right on time. So is Human Shield and Ferrari and Porsche saying thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.